Hi everyone, my name is Julian Baker and I refer to myself as a functional anatomist. That is someone who brings their anatomical understanding to function from a body-wide perspective rather than just the individual anatomical structures. I've been a hands-on manual therapist for over 30 years, and for the last 12 years I've been running human dissection classes which have been specifically designed for manual and movement therapists, and in these I examine how traditional anatomy doesn't really explain some of the things we see when we're working with our clients. And so my aim is to give some insights as to how things within the field of anatomy are more joined up. Traditional anatomy tends to break things down into component parts, sort of name them and learn them, and there's generally an idea that somehow these parts aren't related to each other. You know, how does the knee affect the shoulder? So this tends to lead to a bit of a lack of understanding of relationships, almost a dismissal of the fact that they exist, and a lack of understanding as to how one part of the body might affect another in function as well as dysfunction. So over the years I've gathered thousands of pictures and hours of video from the dissection lab, and I will be taking this enforced desk time to share some of the thoughts and ideas I have around the kind of anatomy that I think we need to be teaching and learning within the field of manual and movement therapies. Well, generally anatomy for that matter, but that's another matter. So my approach when I'm teaching is to keep things relatively simple, light-hearted, accessible, and to try and give you a different way of looking at things and thinking about things. My basic principle is that if you can't explain something simply, then you probably don't fully understand it yourself. So to that end, I try and spend as much time as possible getting to grips with the subject before attempting to explain it to others, so that I fully understand it, at least from my own perspective. I'm very different, I suppose unique, in as much as I'm one of the few people in the world who not only run human dissection classes for therapists, but I also have a hands-on manual practice, and I've been teaching manual therapy for many years, 25 years. So I don't use the dissections to prove a principle or back up a specific theory. I'm not trying to prove anything particularly, but instead I try and show clearly and implicitly why whatever you do in terms of therapy has implications for the body as a whole, and that includes movement as well. So everything I look at and think about, I want it to be practical, and I want it to come to a point so that that information can be translated into helping clients, which is really what we all do. It's also, however, based on sound anatomical and physiological logic and evidence. I'm not making stuff up here. It's just, the body is the witness to us, and I want to interpret that slightly differently. So even though the views are coming at it from a scientific and evidential perspective, my way of working is to come at sort of things side on, if you like, and look at things from a different angle. So over the next few weeks I'm going to be running a series of webinars where I'll cover lots of areas of the body, showing lots of dissection slides, videos, and talking about connection, function, physiology, and maybe even going into some cellular stuff as well. So there's loads of information. Some of it will be free, and some of it will ask you for a £5 charge to cover some costs, and sort of that again makes it accessible, I think. The first session looks at the background of fascia as a connective tissue. What is it, where is it, what's it made of, and what's its job? There's lots of talk over the years about fascia in manual therapies, and I want to dispel a few of the myths and magical ideas, if you like, that have sprung up around it. So the main content will run for about an hour and a half, and from then on we'll spend some time taking questions for about half an hour or so it should finish within 2 hours. So this is information that's not available anywhere else in the world, and it's not classical, it's not in the books, it's a combination of all those things. My view isn't what you might call popular within academic circles, and there is a reason for that. So come and find out what that might be. So please join me. I'm hoping to make it fun and relaxed session, lots of opportunity to ask questions, raise issue, and really get to the facts and fiction of fascia. As I said, this first session is absolutely free, but there are obviously limited spaces, and then after that I will be asking for a small charge for following sessions. As I said, there will also be some free ones as well. So I look forward to seeing you. That's going to go out on Tuesday, that's March the 31st. At 8 p.m. GMT. It will be recorded as well. If you register, you'll be able to have access to it afterwards, so register and get onto it. Even if you can't make that time at 8 p.m. GMT, then you can also access the recording later on. So I look forward to seeing you then. Bye for now.